Pepsi? No Coke. No orange. No grape. Pepsi. For Pepsi!
Welcome to Not My Reality. Let's go back to the year 1989. Now, 1989, there was new wave. It was the end of the Cold War. A lot of things were going on. But was 1989 the year the soda company, Pepsi, briefly became a world superpower? I shit you not. Listen to this. Falls under fair use as it's a parody. If you don't have a sense of humor, go. Welcome. Is this my reality? Is this your reality? The year is 1989. Now, for a lot of you, you might not have been around in 1989 to know what we're even talking about, but I was there, and I'm going to give you a look back at, let's look at the top 4 songs from 1989 and see what was going on in America at that time. Support this channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Otherwise, I might get a Milli Vanilli song stuck in your head. You don't want that, do you? Blame it on the rain. Okay, enough of that. Let's get to it right now. Was Pepsi briefly a superpower? All right, Pepsi is one of the most popular soft drinks in the world, but few people know that it once had a naval fleet that rivaled some of the major powers of its time. This is a story of how Pepsi acquired and sold a navy of warships and submarines from the Soviet Union in exchange for its fizzy beverage that causes diabetes. But that's a whole nother subject. The origins of Pepsi's naval adventure, they date back to 1959, when the United States and the Soviet Union agreed to hold cultural exhibitions in each other's countries to showcase their lifestyles and their achievements. The United States exhibition in Moscow featured a model American house where Vice President Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev engaged in a heated debate over capitalism and communism, known as the kitchen debate.
America existed already. 300? 150 years of independence. Well then, we will say America has existed 150 years, and this is her level of achievement. We have existed not quite 42 years, and 7 years from now, we will be on the same level of achievement as America. We are ahead of you in rockets as well as in this technique. I do not capitulate.
One of the attractions of the exhibition was a Pepsi vending machine, where Nixon offered Khrushchev a glass of the drink. The Soviet premier, he liked it so much that he asked for a second one, and reportedly said, "This is very refreshing." And he probably also asked for some vodka to add to it, but that's a whole nother story. Now, this was a historic moment. It marked the first time a Soviet leader had publicly tasted an American product for the first time. A good choice. Pepsi seized on this opportunity to enter the Soviet market, which was largely closed to Western goods. After years of negotiations, Pepsi became the first foreign consumer product to be sold in the USSR in 1972. However, there was a problem. Of course, Pepsi could not accept Soviet rubles as payment, as they were not convertible to other currencies and had no value outside of the USSR. To solve this problem, Pepsi struck a creative deal with the Soviet government. Instead of rubles, Pepsi would receive Stolnaya vodka. That's right, vodka, which it would then sell in the US and other countries. This arrangement worked so well for both parties as Pepsi expanded its sales in the Soviet Union and Stolnaya gained access to new markets. However, by 1989, things had changed dramatically. The United States imposed sanctions on the Soviet products, including vodka, after the USSR had invaded Afghanistan. This meant that Pepsi could no longer sell Stolnaya in its main market. At the same time, Pepsi's contract with the USSR was about to expire, and it needed to renegotiate its terms. It's said that Pepsi CEO at the time, Donald Kendall, who had personally arranged the deal with Khrushchev 3 decades earlier, he flew personally to Moscow to meet with Soviet officials. He asked for $3 billion worth of payment for his syrup, but the Soviets had no hard currency to offer. Instead, they proposed an unusual alternative. They would give Pepsi a fleet of naval vessels, yes, naval vessels, that they no longer needed or could no longer afford to maintain. Pepsi and Kendall, they agreed to this offer and became the owner of 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. According to some estimates, get this made Pepsi's Navy the sixth largest in the world at that time, surpassing those of countries like Australia and Spain. Yeah, way to go, Australia. Way to go, Spain. You let Pepsi beat you out? Anyway, I digress. Of course, Pepsi had no intention of keeping or operating these ships unless Coca-Cola got out of line. I think then they might have, but that's a different subject. It quickly sold these ships to a Swedish company for scrap metal. They made a profit of about maybe $3 million on the deal. Kendall later joked that he was disarming the Soviet Union faster than President Reagan. Thank you for joining us for something a little bit different here. We just want to do something a little bit lighter. Now, did you know about the Pepsi Navy? Leave a comment down below. I'm worried about the Dr. Pepper Army myself. But anyway, let's get the fuck out of here. I got a pull Abdul video I gotta go watch. Just saying.